Good morning. I'm Dr. Shwana Tucker, Chief Talent Officer here at the Connecticut State Board of Education. And on behalf of Commissioner Charlene Russell-Tucker, I am pleased to welcome you to today's event. It gives me pleasure to acknowledge Governor Lamont, our elected officials, State Board of Education members, dignitaries, and guests. Thank you for taking time from your busy schedules to be with us for this important step towards changing the landscape of the educator workforce here in Connecticut. One of the goals of the State Board of Education is to diversify our educator workforce. This work is led by the Talent Office, and we have an array of programs and initiatives which focus on diversification. We continue to increase certification pathways for both traditional and alternate route to certification programs. We support the next generation of aspiring educators through our Educators Rising and Next Generation programs, and we host Teach Connecticut, our statewide one-stop virtual shop for tools and resources for anyone interested in the education profession. While we've made progress in our diversification efforts, there is still more to be done, and we remain steadfast in our commitment to continue addressing barriers which may preclude some from pursuing or entering this profession. We also value collaboration and partnerships with those who have similar goals. Today is an example of that. For the past year, I've had the opportunity to work with Jeanette Weldon and the staff at the Connecticut Higher Education Supplemental Loan Authority, known as CHESLA, on this Alliance District Loan Subsidy Program. The approach has a three-pronged focus: cultivating and supporting aspiring educators, retaining educators who are new to the profession or in their early careers, and assisting districts who have the greatest staffing and retention needs. As part of our work, we've met with students from CCSU enrolled in their educator preparation program, as well as worked with talent and human resource directors from various Alliance districts to obtain their feedback and input as to how this bill will assist them with not only recruitment, but retention of their workforce. During this school year, we look forward to our continued work to finalize all components of the bill and prepare for full implementation. The CHESLA Alliance District Teacher Loan Subsidy Program is an investment in the future of education in the great state of Connecticut, which will benefit our students and enhance our workforce. A special thanks to all who made this bill a reality. At this time, we will now hear from several special guests. I will introduce them in the order in which they will greet you. Jeanette Weldon, Executive Director of CHESLA, Fran Rabinowitz, Executive Director, the Connecticut Association of Public School Superintendents, followed by our elected officials, Banking Chair, Representative Jason Doucette and Representative Tom Delnicki, the Commissioner of Education, Charlene Russell-Tucker, and last but not least, our very own Governor, Ned Lamont. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tucker. The CHESLA proposal that led to this legislation was really a team effort, and we certainly could not have moved forward without the support of the CHESLA board and its chair, Dr. Peter Lisi. Our internal team included Josh Herlock, who's CHESLA's assistant director, Denise Aguilera, who's the general counsel, and Dan Junji, who is our legislative liaison. And we certainly relied on the feedback and input from the Department of Education and Commissioner Russell-Tucker and her staff, as well as state legislators and others. Educating Connecticut's youth in a way that gives all students the chance to reach their full potential is critical. And I'm happy that we at CHESLA were able to find a way to contribute to this important mission. The Alliance District Teacher Loan Subsidy Program will be a significant tool that the Department of Education can use to incentivize teacher recruitment, including recruitment of teachers of color for Alliance districts. This legislation is an example of the unique way that CHESLA can impact workforce and community development. As the state-affiliated lender in Connecticut, we can share the benefits of our low-cost funding with state residents in ways that also benefit Connecticut communities and school districts. We look forward to working with the Department of Education to implement this program and help enhance educational opportunities for all Connecticut children. Thank you.
Good morning. On behalf of the Superintendents of Connecticut, I thank all that had a hand in making this happen. For a moment, let me just say to you that I have been a former superintendent in 2 urban districts, but also a teacher and an administrator. And I know how incredibly important it is to have the best excellence in our teachers and educators in our most challenged districts. I watch teachers leave, and I feel that this will be a tool that will allow us to recruit the best and keep the best. So I just, on behalf of myself as a former urban educator and on behalf of all the superintendents, I thank all who have been instrumental in getting this wonderful program to our educators. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Very proud to be here today. Very proud of the effort that took place on the Banking Committee this session in the legislature, and for the support of my colleagues on the other committees that were involved in this legislation. One of our charges on the Banking Committee is to deal with student loans, and in recent years we've accomplished quite a lot working with CHESLA. 2 years ago, passing a tax credit program, which is coming online shortly, that CHESLA will be involved in. Also passing this year some of the strongest regulations applying to student loan servicers in the nation, to be headed by our Department of Banking. And then, of course, the effort with this bill this year, which came to us actually from the Higher Education Committee, but we were happy to support it and get it across the finish line. This bill really creates 2 components. The first is of course, the Alliance District Teacher Subsidy Loan Program, which myself, representing Manchester, being from Manchester, having children in the Manchester school system, very important to Alliance districts like Manchester as a tool for teacher recruitment. In addition to that, we actually have a task force also being established, which CHESLA will be participating in which we are going to be looking at ways to expand even further the reach of CHESLA. And again, with the goal, the overarching goal of the affordability of student loans. And I think we've accomplished a lot, and thankful to my colleagues on the Banking Committee in the legislature, and of course the governor for supporting all of these efforts. And happy to pass the mic to my ranking member on the Banking Committee, where we work in a bipartisan fashion every day of the week on the Banking Committee, Representative Tom Delnicki from South Windsor.
Thank you, Chairman Doucette. You know, it's interesting, the first office I ever sought was the Board of Education. And as a former board member, I recognize the importance of recruitment and retention and being able to develop a workforce that works for everyone and provides opportunity and education for everyone. South Windsor is not an Alliance district, but East Hartford, East Windsor, and Manchester, which are contiguous to my community, are. And I saw it as an opportunity to work in a bipartisan fashion, to do some good work, to get some things done. And we've done that. We did that, and I know on the Banking Committee it was a unanimous decision to support this. So this is a great day. We have an opportunity here going forward, And of course, the work of the working group and the report that will be coming forward next year hopefully will bear fruit and give us some other areas to take a look at to make things work even better. And again, Chairman Doucette and I, Chairman, Ranking Member, have been able to work in a bipartisan fashion on many things to the benefit of the people of Connecticut. So I think without further ado, I turn it over.
Thank you very much. And thanks to everyone that's here today. In 2016, our State Board of Education, members are here today, had the foresight to develop a comprehensive plan of education entitled Equity and Excellence for All. And one of the goals of that plan was to increase or diversify our educator corps and increase the numbers of educators of color from 8.3% to 10% by 2021. And those numbers, percentages sometimes don't really mean much to folks. But it really means we've achieved the goal thanks to the hard work. Dr. Tucker, Chris Todd is here somewhere. They've worked really hard in order to do that and to say we've achieved that, hiring more than 1,900 educators of color in Connecticut. Now it's a short win, right? Yes, it is. And so we have to learn to celebrate, but we don't stop there. There's a lot more work to do. Hence the partnership that we have here that I think is so critical when we start talking about incentivizing or those interested in education to certainly take it as a path forward. And so we have a multi-pronged approach in doing that. As I said, Dr. Tucker and others have been working on that, and we so appreciate the partnership going forward that will assure us that that continues. I certainly appreciate and thank the governor for his leadership along the way, and Chesla, of course, in the process of working with our agency to develop the framework that we will continue to solicit feedback from our Alliance of District partners to help ensure that the program provides the greatest benefits for our districts. And we're grateful for our legislative partners. As I said earlier, that having the governor's leadership, having our legislative leadership, having all our state agency partners and others that we need to work with, it is so critical for us to build what I've been calling this best-in-class collaboration in Connecticut on behalf of our students, making sure they have educators in front of them with whom they can identify, and really just making sure that they can succeed and they can thrive. So that is our goal with these partnerships. Again, thanking folks for all the work that they've done, and I'm so grateful to be standing here before you as your Commissioner of Education in doing that work.
You just heard from Connecticut's Commissioner of Education. Charlene was swearing this morning, just half an hour ago, could not be more proud. Chief Talent Officer, well done. There's nothing more important than talent. And Charlene, I just saw that Connecticut is ranked the second best public school system in the country. Second best? Come on! Second best in the country. And you know why? It's because we have the best teachers in the country. We have the best teachers, and we got to make sure we continue to have the best teachers, make sure our kids can get back into school. Richard, sorry, we're going to have to keep Charlene really busy a little bit longer. This is just an incredibly important time. I was so proud of the fact that our kids all got back in-person education. It was available last fall, working hard to be able to make sure we can do that for everybody yet again, and we will. And when it comes to talent, it's about telling the teachers how much we love them and respect them and how important it is each and every day what they do on behalf of the kids. It's about making sure that the young people, high school, know that education is an amazing profession and track. Fran and I were talking about what we're doing right now, right, in terms of the pipeline for high school, college. You can get some of those credits in high school, cut down the high cost of teacher college, graduate with less debt, get a great job teaching. Nothing more rewarding in the world, nothing more important in the world, nothing more important for these kids in the future of our state. And what we're doing in terms of the subsidy for the student loans is so important. A, we hold down the high cost when you graduate, and B, make it easier for you to be able to pay off that debt. We'll be able to refinance that debt, thank you very much, refinance that debt and subsidize it for those teachers working our toughest school districts. It's going to greatly incent them to want to get into teaching and teaching for those kids that need it. And on a personal note, very first bill, one of the very first ones we passed was to make sure that we have a teacher corps that reflects the amazing diversity of this amazing state. We've got some work to do there when it comes to teachers of color. When it comes to more men, guys, I need more guys getting into the teaching profession. We're making progress. We're making progress by reaching out and recruiting from historically black colleges all over the country, recruiting people here, making it easier and less expensive for them to be able to teach in a lot of our alliance districts, and making sure that next time I'm here, I'll be able to say, thanks to Commissioner Charlene Russell-Tucker, Connecticut is not number 2, but number 1 in the country with the best school system in the world. You sign something up? Make sure the right people get it. Charlene is so quiet. You used to be a recording artist and a gospel singer. Just break the silence, would you? Who didn't get a plastic pen? There you go. All right, thanks everybody.
To the
Can we get some specifics about how this bill is actually going to get to work done?
So the specifics of how it's going to be implemented.
CHESLA and SDE are working together. We've developed an implementation plan. Some of the things we'll be considering are the eligibility criteria, underwriting guidelines, and we're hoping that we can hit a timetable that will have the program operational in time for the recruitment season next spring.
I mean, if I'm someone who's considering teaching, how would this get me to where you want me to get? How does this work?
So it's incentivizing teachers to come to Connecticut by offering them a subsidized loan rate on their student loans, which they can refinance into this program and as a result make their debt more manageable.
The governor's authority on the mask mandate for students who can go to the $58 emergency powers plan. Can you share with us your involvement? the degree to which you've been involved in giving advice or what you've been urging regarding mask and other mandates in the schools to deal with COVID.
So the question I mentioned earlier about our best-in-class collaboration, we're truly joined at the hip with the Department of Public Health. We meet almost daily, maybe sometimes more than once a day, to work together. And so in order to, so they can have all the information that they need, we've jointly published guidance documents for our districts so that they can know what to do around mitigation strategies, what to do about ventilation, what to do about hand hygiene, distancing, cohorting. And so we've all been working together. The information that we've sent out is jointly developed and disseminated to the public.
Given the Delta variant, and this is also for the governor, given the Delta variant surge and that the fact that children under 12 aren't able to get vaccinated, are you considering any possibilities for making accommodations for remote learning or contingency plans for returning to remote learning? There are a lot of parents out there that are concerned because their children can't get vaccinated with this Delta variant, fueling the rise in infection and hospitalization rates we're seeing right now.
So I'll start by sharing that we've developed guidance on remote learning based on legislation that was passed. The legislation that was passed allows for remote learning to occur in the 2022-2023 school year and only at the high school level. So our guidance to district that we've sent out have shared the fact that students with disabilities or 504 plans must still be accommodated based on the IDEA law. So that is there. We also recommend and encourage our districts to work individually with families, families who may be immunocompromised, in developing continuing educational opportunities for them. So we've been providing that guidance to districts and encouraging them to do so.
Governor, you have the authority under your emergency powers to modify and suspend state laws. So you have the authority, do you not, to allow for remote learning to be expanded to lower grades, do you not? Is that something that you're considering?
I think we learned last year there's no substitute for in-person education. I think we made every effort possible to make it easier for people to learn remotely, especially during the worst days of the pandemic, Paul. But right now we're doing everything we can to convince parents that their kids can go to our schools safely. Kids wearing masks, teachers being vaccinated. That's what our priority are. For some of these folks who are immunocompromised or other reasons, we've maintained in place a lot of our online learning contracts like Scholastic and the such, so we'll be able to support those parents and kids that don't feel confident coming in. I think the overwhelming majority of our kids are going to be in the classroom.
But you're not discussing or considering, even as a contingency, issuing an order that would allow an expansion of remote learning beyond high school?
Not at this point.
Thank you.
Some local leaders are saying that they want to see a statewide mask mandate rather than the patchwork and voluntary system we have now. Are you considering that?
Not at this point.
And any comment on the statewide vaccine mandate for state employees?
We'll be talking about that later this afternoon.
Are you considering any further restrictions given the rise in hospitalizations and cases in recent days?
I think you're going to see that we're watching this every day. I see what's going on in the South. I see the outbreak of COVID in the schools with unmasked kids in Mississippi and Orlando and other places. My first priority to make sure is our kids can get back to school safely. That's the best thing for them, allows their parents to get back to work safely. We're in a slightly different situation than a lot of these other states. We do have 80% of our adults vaccinated. And we are putting in place the plans for the booster shots, starting with the older folks, like me.
Do we have any idea what might be happening after September 30th with masks in schools yet, or when might we know an update on that?
We're in discussions with the legislative leadership right now. Some folks here see what we want to do. My power is to do everything I can to keep kids safe. We're saying till September 30. At that point, I think we're going to have a better idea by the middle of September what COVID, what Delta looks like. We'll be able to make some decisions alongside the legislature how to keep your kids safe.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.